Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be showing you how to transplant a Venus flytrap. This is my new little tiny Venus flytrap. It does have some spent traps down in the plant. Those have used up all their energy, closing a few times trying to catch bugs, and so they need to be trimmed out of there before I move it into its new home. And the dirt there. This is the nice big cylinder that I'm going to be using for my Venus flytrap. Now I chose to use a big tall heavy glass cylinder because I have cats and their hobby is murdering plants. So I needed something nice and big and tall to keep my little flytrap safe. On the bottom of this, because there is no drainage hole, I have added a layer of aquarium gravel. On top of that, I have added a layer of play sand. It's a plain, non-toxic silica sand that you can find at big box stores and home improvement stores. This is not the same as kinetic sand. It's just plain silica sand. This just happens to have been dyed. Okay, so now, Venus flytraps are unique in that they grow in areas with extremely poor quality soil, which is why they catch flies. They create their own energy through photosynthesis, just like other plants, but to get all the nutrients and things that they need to grow healthy, they have to rely on something besides the soil that they're growing in. So we're going to try to mimic what they naturally live in. All right, I'm going to move you over here, okay? So this is my recipe for the soil that I'm going to be putting into my container. I'm going to be using 2 parts peat moss. No, we do not want to use any brands that add fertilizer, just plain old peat moss. Then you can add 1 part of perlite or vermiculite. I'll be using vermiculite. This is what it looks like. If you are having youngsters helping you put this together, you're going to want to do it in a well-ventilated area or consider wearing a mask because it's not good to breathe that stuff in. And then also a little bit more of my beautiful green sand that will also be mixed into the soil. It's going to help because you need some nice drainage and poor quality soil. And over here in my recycled ice cream tub, this is the peat that I'm going to be using. This is kind of wet because it was sitting outside and we've had 5 days of rain. So, and as you can see, I got a little bit of sand in there already. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mix that together, and then I'm going to put it into my container, and I'm going to add my little Venus flytrap after I trim off its traps, and I'll be right back. All right, the little Venus flytrap is all settled into its new home. The soil mixture that I made is nice and damp, so it should be good for a few days before I need to add any water. And when the soil starts looking a little bit dried out, I'm going to add either distilled water or collected rainwater. Now the reason I want to do that is because tap water in most areas has additives to make it safe for human consumption and also sometimes to make it taste better for us. But the little Venus flytrap does not need that kind of stuff in its water. So we want to go for something that is just as bland and natural as can be. Oops, in the background you're going to hear somebody making little whining sounds, and it's because one of my dogs is having a dream. He's not actually sad or anything like that, so just don't want you to worry. Alright, so now, speaking of keeping everything from drying out, here in the Midwest, the furnaces are going to start kicking on soon. And that means that the air inside of homes is going to be quite dry. So, to maintain the moisture inside of your Venus Flytrap container, you can use the same little trick that I use for my daughter's cactus. Now, cactuses don't need to stay damp. However, our cats are fearless when it comes to plants, and they're totally willing to take on the spines of a cactus, especially when everyone's sleeping and no one's watching. So at night, I think this is like a candle holder, and I just cover up her cactuses with that. It doesn't have to be a clear candle holder. It could be a cup. It could be another flower pot. It doesn't even have to be clear, because at nighttime, when you're covering it up, you don't have to worry about it not getting enough sunlight because it's dark. And while we're on the topic of sunlight, we do want to make sure that everybody understands that the Venus Flytrap does need plenty of sunshine every day. And you'll want to have a window that's going to get sunshine through like 6-8 hours a day. In the wintertime, maybe 4 to 6. If they start looking droopy and not as brightly colored, then maybe you could consider upping the amount of sunshine time they get. Or you can use a little plant grow light, which is what I'm going to be doing, because we just don't get quite enough sunshine here in the wintertime. We've got a lot of trees on the south side of the house, so we don't get enough sun in through the windows. And so I think I'm going to wind it up. That is all the steps that I took to transplant this little Venus Flytrap into its new home. If you would like to have more information about keeping Venus Flytraps and about some other really cool carnivorous plants, you can check out my little Art to Science website. That's art2science.net. Art, the number 2, and science.net. So I hope you all have a lovely day, and I'll see you again soon.